Hey guys, how's it going? It's Danny, and today it's me and my great friend Mike. Say hey, Mike.
Hey guys.
Hey, yeah, we're gonna be doing just a video, just on a few topics that we decided to talk about today. Um, as you guys know, or if you don't know already, TechRage likes just the whole channel itself likes to touch upon various topics. A lot related to tech, but also we can also talk about many other things too, maybe some gaming, and pretty much anything we find interesting, right? Yeah, so we have a few topics today that we want to talk about. So let me bring up the list real fast. The first one we're going to be talking about is the Google Docs UI. Now, I know Mike definitely had a comment about this, because
Oh yeah.
yeah, because he can tell you firsthand. He's always had ups and downs with Google and their various products, or services. Yeah, we definitely have quite a bit to talk about, but we're definitely going to the Google Docs UI as well as just their other UIs in general. Their layouts. And then we're going to be going into local versus cloud storage, and then open source. We're going to go to in depth into those later on. But yeah, so let's start off with Google Docs. Now, yeah, Mike, I know you had a big thing about disliking the Google Doc layout. So tell me why.
Right. So I first started using Google Docs in 2007, and this was like I think around the time I began high school.
Mm-hmm.
And over the years I saw them evolve. But this is just grotesque. I mean, it's white and gray, but there is no elegance to the software, and I find that I work best, and I find that a lot of people work best. That's why Apple is so popular. When the UI interacts with the user, this looks very minimal and very basic, like something you'd find in 1999.
Yeah, I definitely see what you mean. The UI, if anything, and now I'm not trying to get at LibreOffice. I'm definitely a big fan of open source software. I use it everywhere I go, where on whichever platform I'm on. But it does kind of remind me of like stock LibreOffice, and honestly, I've always found it to look very ugly. But thankfully,
Right.
yeah, there are actually various themes to it. So that's the good thing about this. But as for Google Docs, yeah, I definitely see what you mean. It's very, very old. Kind of has like that, um, like a very grayish tone. So I definitely see what you're talking about. Um, but also, I think what they're trying to aim for is just a minimalist experience. Oh well, excuse me. but
Right. But
mm-hmm.
you can
Yeah, continue.
you so what I'm seeing is how you mentioned that they're going for a minimal experience, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So here, what I don't understand is that Google likes to integrate all of its services. And this is the only platform, now I've used Dropbox Paper, where you can't even insert the video here. This is supposed to be integratable, but it's not. So,
Oh really? You can't even embed.
no, you can't embed like videos and stuff. And that's just, it's old fashioned. I mean, you can do that on most any modern text
Mm-hmm.
editors nowadays.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. And what was it? What was that? Dropbox paper, right? That's what.
Dropbox Paper,
Okay, and that's a cloud. Or
that's cloud based, right?
okay. Yeah, I haven't messed with that. I remember you talked about it a while ago. I've never messed around with it. But yeah, okay, I see what you mean. And yeah, I remember you told me on how Dropbox paper it even has that what was it? Like that floating menu.
Right. So the menu, the formatting menu, won't just be in your face. If you highlight something, only then will it show you that formatting because it's not necessary for you to see it when you're not using it.
Yeah.
See, like right
Okay.
there.
I think that's the chat feature. Oh, I see what you mean. So that little menu that popped up there.
Right. And you can embed
Oh, okay.
anything, SoundCloud clips,
Mm-hmm.
anything. Just name it.
Oh, well, actually, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I could definitely dig that.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely modern right there.
Yeah, and it's simple. Like you said, Google Docs was trying to aim for it, but it went back to like traditional 1999 simple, not 2017 simple.
Yeah, I see what you mean. But I mean, if I remember correctly, I think Google Docs kind of always look like this. No, I mean they probably tweaked a
Right,
few things here and there, but
exactly. That's the
mhm,
thing that's sad.
mhm. Oh, true, true, true. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned this before, but I don't know if you've used the recent Google Forms, but I know they have that new layout, where things are spread out very differently, but the options are pretty much the same. Just the way that's laid out, it's a bit different, a bit more modern, I guess. But I know me personally though, I don't even use it. I don't like it, that new modern UI, because everything is just not where I remember it to be, and it just didn't work out for me. So I just revert back. Thankfully, they still have that option to revert back to it. But I mean, I could only
That's
assume.
funny. I actually like it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's I mean it's modern and stuff. I don't know. I guess I just don't like change, for
right.
certain
I
things.
hear that.
So I'm just like, whatever. But I mean, I'd be more than happy to get used to it. I mean, I really don't have anything against it. But yeah, yeah. I mean, I could only assume that they're gonna try to revamp Google Docs soon too. You know?
I hope so.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think you mentioned too would be a good feature would be like recent documents on the left side, right? Left or right side?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, and then I think it was just UI in general, right, that they've been having an issue with.
Yeah, Google Allo was like one of the best apps they've designed. If they took that and implemented it in Google Docs and Google Drive,
Mm-hmm.
look at that flat, modern, like very elegant design. That's more or less towards Apple's direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, I could. Oh man, actually, I could really see that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, if they pretty much just, it's like took like the same exact design. I mean, probably not
Yeah.
every single feature, but at least the design
Yeah,
concept.
right.
Yeah, the design concept, and then implemented it. Yeah, I could. Oh, heck yeah, actually.
Yeah, I would use it. Honestly, I would try to use it and see how it works out because it looks appealing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true, true. Mm. I'm gonna have to give it a try at some point. See how it works
Right.
for me.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, cool. So, is there any other comments you want to make on Google or its UI?
Uh, I think they should get their head out of their ass, but other than that, no.
Whatever you feel, that's cool. That's you know. Yeah, honestly, I've been up and down with Google. I mean, and especially because I'm always talking to you about, on why I don't like Google for this reason or for that reason, and mainly because of
Right.
privacy reasons, But then here I am recording through Google Chrome, you know.
Right.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not like I can hate Google, but I still use their services, right? Only for their main selling point, which is convenience. So, yeah, that's actually why I use it. I mean, Google Drive is convenient. Um, all of it, it's really convenient. I mean, I don't try to use as much. I don't try to use any of it if I don't need to.
Right.
If I could use something else, like for instance, I remember we were talking earlier about Google Drive. Now this kind of goes into the second segment, cloud storage versus local storage, because I was talking about although Google Drive is convenient and stuff, I mean there was a time when there wasn't a cloud, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Hmm. Yeah, and I mean although it is convenient, at least in my life, right? I don't need to access this but upload it there, and I don't have any reason that I can't use a local storage or a flash drive, right? And cloud storage would be any more beneficial, like I don't really see. I mean, probably just because I don't have to carry an extra device on me, but other than that, I mean, I really don't have that extra sense of convenience when it comes to Google Drive. What do you think?
You know, it's actually funny that you say that. I was just thinking of. It was funny. I was reading the other day on Quora, and somebody asked, "Can we live without Google?" And like you just said, somebody was like, there was a time when Google didn't exist, and I find a lot of people, and this obviously it doesn't relate to you, but a lot of people say, I want to access my data everywhere I go. but yet they never really do it. They don't have the need to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's convenient, but Google basically pushed us to the point where we're thinking of convenience, but we don't really necessarily need it.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. That's so true. And it's pretty interesting because it's like, I mean, this is pretty much like it's a new standard, right? Cloud is its own standard, right?
Yeah.
It's no longer local storage. It's no longer, the need to carry on an extra device, and
Right.
instead just upload and go. You can always just
Exactly.
re-sign in and then have it there. And they've really just, taken over that whole concept of, you know, saving your data, and yeah, exactly, with convenience. And so it's actually really interesting to think about, and the fact that they could do something like that, the fact that they did, just
Right.
but
They're dominating the market.
oh yeah, 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 for a while now. But yeah, honestly, like I said, I just prefer local storage. And now it's going into more of a privacy concern, right? And yes, I did mention I am using Google, Google Chrome, so it's kind of hypocritical of me, or I guess no, hypocritical. No, amazing, all right.
I
No,
wouldn't say I wouldn't say that. No.
yeah, yeah, no, it wouldn't. Yeah, my head's up my ass right
I
now.
know what you mean, though. I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what you
yeah. So, but yeah, yeah. So, it's just like, going back to me thinking, if I don't need to rely on them, I won't, or I don't have to. I mean, because there was a time before cloud storage.
right.
There was flash. You can use flash drives, passports. Those thick, like, freaking terabyte hard drives that you can take on the go.
Yeah.
Like I have,
Exactly.
yeah, I have so many flash drives with me. I have like two passports that I use in case I ever actually need it. But most of the time, I just use it for backups, or if I need to transfer some software from here to someone else's computer. If I need to bring something or I need to make a copy here, yeah, I just carry that with me. Like maybe say like my girlfriend's computer. Maybe she, maybe I'm gonna wipe her computer and install something else, a different OS. Then I can just back up everything, put it onto the passport, and then put it back into her laptop.
You just actually raised a good point right there, and I wanted to comment on it, and I'm just gathering my So if you were to do that, you would not be able to do that with Google Drive, because once you're in Google Drive, you're tied to their ecosystem. If you don't have internet, you're basically your data is not with you,
Yeah,
and you can't do the same kind of things. It's easier, it's faster offline, and I mean, it's overall technically it's safer. You don't know what Google's doing with the data, even if they're not doing anything.
hmm,
You never know. It can
yeah,
get lost.
yeah, that's true. And I mean, we know, I wanted to go into reliability, but I'm gonna wait for now. I want to stick more into privacy first. But yeah, and also too, Google's known for taking your data. They're an advertising company first, and then other things.
Yeah,
They would always mention that they are an advertising company, or like big. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what they'll mention first. And so yeah, they do take copies of your data. It's actually known, um,
yeah.
for a
For
while now that they've been doing that. So whenever you upload anything there, they make their copies and have those, I guess, images, saved there on their servers. And
that's not a safeguard. I'm just saying that's what they said, but it's not.
hmm, what do you mean?
They say that it's to be safe, but there's no reason for you to copy my data or
Yeah,
for you to
yeah,
keep a copy of my data.
yeah. And we can go into the whole Snowden leaks, that happened a couple years ago. And
Right.
I remember in one of the documents, it connected all of these big companies, these big franchises like Google itself, Facebook. I forget who else. Apple was one of them, and they were all giving their customers' data to the government. I believe the CIA. I forget.
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. And it's just like, especially with technology advancing so fast and so rapid, you know, it's easy for you to just to click yes to install, yes to download. Oh, you just want to quick go through the settings really fast, like through the initial setup, and it says, oh, we'll send user data to improve your, a user's experiences here and there, right? But you don't really know, you know, exactly what's
Yeah.
going on. Sometimes people just skim through it, especially a lot of non-tech savvy users who just want to use the app, and don't really care about the
Right.
settings, don't really care about, what comes with installing that app. And that's the thing is that, you know, um, with that, your data can just be taken like that, like from various companies, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
this goes into various applications on your phone, um, maybe if you use certain services, so it's very important now to really get tied down and understand what you're doing, because there are a lot of people out there, especially kids, who just go onto the internet, make an account on some website, some gaming website or something like that, and they don't even know exactly, what they're doing, like what they're giving out. They don't know if that site's even
Right.
reliable, they don't even know, you know um, they're not very conscientious of these things. That goes more into being more secure on the internet in general. Of making sure that these are actual credible sites. There's just so many things. And it's because all these technology is advancing very rapidly that you need to understand where your data is going, right, and what you want to do with it. Like, are you okay with this? Are you not okay with this? And understand too that it's not just you know well, this service works. It works for me, right? And maybe there's no other good service, right? Or a proper alternative. So I'm just gonna stick with this one, and then that's it. No, there are actually a variety of alternatives out there that I'm very
Right.
surprised
Yeah.
about.
Exactly.
And there are new ones coming up everywhere. Like, I remember, like, before we were just talking about this, we were looking through my browser, right? And remember how I looked up
Yeah.
Hangouts alternative, and there are like various open source ones, like Ring, right? We looked up like Ring was there. There's like a few I can't remember off the top of my head, and I was actually really surprised to see that. I knew about Ring, but then there were a few others I haven't even heard about.
Yeah.
And
Same here. And
yeah, and it feels like now every year there's another alternative. But by the way, Ring is an open source alternative to Hangouts, so that's a bonus.
yeah.
It's not just a alternative, so that's actually really cool. But yeah, you had a thought.
Well, as far as open source goes, I would honestly want those services or people to learn about open source, and like you said, they have to be aware of what they're signing up for. But here's the thing: we these companies, Google, aren't giving them a chance to do that. It's I don't mean to be rude towards anybody here, and this is just a general example. But phones, like smart services like Google, are making people dumb. And in that sense, is this is all we have. A lot of people say, "Oh, Google is all there is," but there, as you can see right here, what you're doing,
Hmm.
there are so many services that people aren't aware of because they're only focused on the big brother, the big corporation that is providing all of these services.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's so true. Yeah, they're various, and it's amazing, to know what's out there, and also I wanted to point out too, especially because there will always be those people that will point it out. And yes, just because it's open source at the same time doesn't mean it's secure. It doesn't mean that
Yeah,
they aren't doing anything malicious with your data. You need to that the beauty of open source is that you can read the code itself. You can read the very essence, the very underlining, right, of that application or that service. So that's the beauty of it, right? But the next step is actually reading it. Now, I'm not gonna say here that, right, because I use open source, therefore I read all the source code. Honestly, I don't at all. There are very few
right,
apps that I actually have recently. There's very few apps, very few compared to like all of them, compared to the majority, of what I
right.
actually install. So, but yeah, I just wanted to point that out there. But yeah, going back to this, yeah, there are various services like over here, Jitsi. I remember hearing about Jitsi. I know a few people have been using it on YouTube, and yeah, it's an encrypted open source video chat service that you can use. It's really
And
cool.
that's what's great. That's what's great about open source is that there are so many alternatives and so many options
Hmm.
where you're never really without an option. It's like if it's not Google, it's Apple, but here,
Hmm.
if it's not Facebook Messenger or Wire, it's 100,000 other things.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I know me and you, right? We always like to share different apps with each other, right? We think it's cool.
Right.
Like I know I like to share, like we've used I don't even know how many. We've used Telegram.
Oh
We've
yeah, we've used
used
a lot.
Yeah, we used well now we're using Wire for chat and voice calls, and
Right.
I'm really surprised as to like how well Wire actually works. It's open source as well. It's cross-platform, Linux, Mac, and Windows, Android included, and it's actually really cool. All the features, pretty much are on par with Hangouts, right?
And trust me, some of them are even better. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like they're a lot better than Hangouts in some ways.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, no, I totally agree with you, definitely, and yeah, honestly, like a good case would be like with the screen capture, right? Like with Hangouts, it's kind of crummy. Like you're seeing my desktop right now, but you told me before we were even doing this that it was actually kind of slow for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was lagging. It was like freezing every time you moved it. So, I
Yeah,
mean, now it's okay, it seems like, but it has its moments of really crap
yeah, and then
activity.
we did Wire earlier today, right? And it actually worked really well.
Oh, yeah, honestly, it worked a lot better than any Google product
Yeah,
I've used for that same purpose.
yeah, I didn't even know the option had it. I asked you, I'm like, does Wire even have it? And then you're like, oh yeah, it does. I had no clue about that. That's actually so cool, and it's open source. There's end-to-end encryption. Um, Bryan Lunduke actually did a video. He actually talked to one of the developers, if not, I believe the CEO. I'm not too sure about that, but I could definitely leave the link to that video down below in the description. And yeah, it's actually really cool to know that an application like this exists. And not only that, and
Right,
and for me, it just makes it even more of a bonus because it's open source, and then on top of that, it's available for Linux. I mean, that's freaking cool.
right.
That's freaking cool. And then look, Riot. I've heard of Riot. I've never messed with it personally, at least from what I remember. But yeah, that's an option too. I think it's like a gaming option, like a gaming chat option. Not too sure. Oh, let's look at a
Does
mobile
it
app.
say,
Does it say what?
you know what? I wanted to bring up actually a good point that you mentioned. You mentioned open source, and I wanted to bring up. It's
Mm-hmm.
very interesting. I was reading the other day
Mm-hmm.
some reviews on GitHub of a program, of a software rather,
Yeah.
that now has a freemium model, and people were like, "It's open source. It's not supposed to cost anything." And I'm like, "Your a lot of people's views on open source are misconstrued." I'm just saying, like, just because it's open source, it doesn't mean it's free. It simply means that you can see how it is made.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, you know, like I've used well, you've used Zorin OS, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and I know Zorin, they have a paid version and then the free version, right? All open source. There is Zorin OS. Currently, Zorin OS. They have the Ultimate Edition, and then they have Lite, and then the regular edition. It's not even called anything. It's just called Zorin OS 12. And
yeah.
yeah, and I've purchased Ultimate Edition, and it just has extra features, well, extra applications that come included when you download the ISO, and it also comes with premium support. At least from what they
Right.
call it, you actually talk one on one with the developers of Zorin OS, so it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting to see, and you know, and yeah, but you do pay a one-time payment. The pay, the that payment, it changes sometimes. Like I remember it went up like $1 or $2, but I mean it's not much. I think it was like when I bought it, it was like $8, $5. I mean I'm more than happy to give my money out to software and to well to good software. And Zorin OS has has been good on my computer, so I was more than happy to buy it.
Right, and it's like you said, it's not expensive, compared to like Windows, which is paid and it has bugs, like sometimes even worse than I've seen on Linux.
Oh yeah, yeah, true, true. Yeah, and
So,
mhm. like just off the bat, me personally. Now this is just expressing my bias. You know, I'm more open to throwing money to Linux and open source, like any day. I really am. You know,
Yeah.
that's why mostly for me also I've just been exclusively gaming on Linux. I purchased a bunch of games that are Linux compatible through Steam. It's Steam is a gaming
Oh
client.
wow.
Yeah. So I do that, just because I only want to purchase games for here. Now I'm not gonna say I don't have Windows games. I'm not gonna say that because I do, right?
Shame on you.
I know, right? um, but yeah, I mean, they're just one of the like one or two games that I just have to play. You know,
Which ones?
like Overwatch. I don't know if you heard of it.
Overwatch. Okay.
Yeah,
I've heard of it. Is that like the arrow thing?
there. No. It's actually it's from the company called Blizzard. Let me see. Bring this up. Yeah, it's this game where
Okay.
yeah, pretty much it's like a team versus team um game where you play online. There's different characters, right? There's a story behind it, of course, and there's different modes to it. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. And honestly, I didn't think I'd get into it. This game came out. It's actually about a year
Really?
since it came out. Yeah,
It
and
looks nice.
oh
It
yeah,
looks nice.
it's
I mean,
actually a lot of fun, and I have it for my PlayStation and for my Windows partition. I'm telling you, man, it's a lot of
nice.
fun. Yeah, you see that guy right there, the one with the arrow?
Yeah.
Yeah. His name is Hanzo. I freaking love him. He's my main. I'm always playing with him in this game. So that's why I'm
Wow.
telling you. Yeah, like this game is. Oh man, I have so much fun with this game. Um, but yeah, I'm sorry. Like we're just going everywhere today. But whatever. Yeah. So getting back to the topic. Yeah, but yeah, you're so right. Just because it's open source doesn't mean you don't pay anything. Doesn't mean you
Exactly.
can't. And often, some of them do provide a free version, right? That is still open source and that does still work, right? But oftentimes, at least from my experience, there will be that paid version that you can pay for, which it's still open source, but it comes with extra features, just like I mentioned about Soren OS. Um,
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. I mean, do you know what Skrifa is?
Skrifa, no, I don't actually.
If you go to if you go to Skrifa XYZ,
Hmm.
there's this really good example.
How do I spell that?
Um, Skrifa dot XYZ. And I want to make a point by showing you guys something, like you and the community, and it's a really good point. And
Hmm.
this developer,
Hmm.
buy or download, what's the difference? Click it.
Okay, so it's gonna just download it.
No, right.
Hmm.
No, but if you clicked,
Go back.
it's supposed to tell you why. Yeah, just go back to where it says, what's the difference?
Oh fuck. Hold on. All right. Okay.
Just click that text, like buy or download, what's the difference?
Okay.
And you see what I mean?
Hmm.
There's no difference in the product, but it's just a donation, it's motivation, and that's what I love about open source. They're not pushing a price tag on you, they're simply asking.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Sometimes,
Yeah, it's actually yeah,
you know.
talking about this actually reminds me a lot of what the App Store, the App Center on Elementary OS is doing right now, right?
Right.
Yeah, so like a lot of apps right now, they actually have a lot of apps that are being made natively now on Elementary OS, which is actually really freaking cool. They blend in well with the whole UI, and
Oh
at least
yeah.
for the majority, all these apps actually work really well. They work straight out the bat, and I'm actually really impressed actually to see how many apps are just being pushed into this app store so far. So it's pretty cool, and they actually do
Well,
follow a
yeah.
similar model. Where you can in fact purchase the default number that they put here. So you see right here,
Right.
I have a coin app made by the developer called Lanes. Now, you see right here, automatically, you can buy it for $1. But if I go down here, I can choose any number that I want, that I want to buy it for. So that right there is pretty cool. So it's the whole pay as you want type of model, right?
Right.
So I think that's excellent because, you know, And many people can tell you, open source development hasn't been the greatest when it comes to, gaining revenue. So
Right.
this right here gives people the incentive to purchase it, but also, like you said, it doesn't force them to purchase it either. I believe that's what you
Right.
said. So
Yeah.
because what you
Right.
can do here is that you can just go to zero, and you see here now it changed to free. So
Right.
it's pretty much the
Exactly.
same exact thing. Yeah, and so yeah, I totally agree with that. Honestly, I think it's pretty cool.
And it's cool. Elementary. I don't know if you watched the interview with Bryan Lunduke and the owner of Elementary. I forgot his name,
Yeah. Oh, Daniel
but
Fourier. Yeah.
right. And he was saying how actually this is the first time this thing is happening, and they're able to pay staff that they currently have with the revenue that they're making from the App Store. Now, it's not a lot, and they don't have a lot of team members, but that's still saying something that they're able to pay however many developers they have, whether it be one to three.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
That's just exciting.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. And they're not getting just. I mean, some apps are just very basic and minimal as to like what they do and some features. But there's some apps here like Nutty, for instance. It's what is this? A simple utility for network information. I mean, that's actually pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if it does any, packet sniffing or anything. I doubt it, but
I
um,
don't think so.
yeah, because I was thinking for a second, wait, is this like a revamped Wireshark? But
No, they actually have Wireshark in the store, I think, and it's not curated though. It's not natively for elementary.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, it's actually really cool what they're doing. They're getting some pretty cool apps. Like they even have this screencasting app now. That's pretty
Yeah, I
nice.
actually used it as a test before when I made the video. It's nice. It needs some work, but it's definitely really nice.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I've actually purchased a few of their apps here. I've never tried out the screencast. Right. You know what's funny is that besides the apps that I purchased, the rest of them, right, that are new, that are being brought to the App Store, I download immediately just to try it out to see how it works. But sometimes I just download them and then never actually try them because I forget.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I could rely on your opinion on that. But yeah, I've actually purchased a few of their apps. Like some of them work pretty well. Uh, what
Yeah.
was it? I purchased Torrential was one. This is a
Oh, is that good?
yeah, it's decent. I mean, it doesn't have extensive, features or anything, but it does what it needs to do, right, for torrenting. So, hey, I'm cool with it. It works really good. I like it. I had no issues with it before. And what else? What else? What else? I purchased a few. Oh, I purchased Nutty too. I purchased a few apps. I just don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, and then another thing too, actually going back to the purchasing thing, you can always go back. Now that's the beauty too about the App Store too, is that you can always go back. So say you don't purchase it for the first time, well you can always go back and try to donate to them again. I mean, now I don't know if you can do that straight out the app, after you download it, but you can always go to the developers page, and I'm pretty sure they should have a link for you to download. I mean, for you to donate to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they usually do. It depends on.
Mm. Oh, Vocal. You've used Vocal before, right?
No, actually, I was gonna ask you about that. Actually, is it good?
Yeah. At least from what I used it, yeah, it works pretty decent. Let me bring this up right now. Let me see. I think I.
You launcher, nice.
All right. Yeah. Here you go. Yeah. So I just hooked up a few podcasts to see, how well it works, and it actually works really well. It's pretty decent. So if you go, I forgot, is it here? Yeah. So you can view the top podcasts from iTunes. So you click that, right? And it's a really
Nice.
nice layout. Yeah. So you can go down. They have various topics. This is the top 100, right? And then what you can also do is you can return. Oh, when it decides to, you can return, and then you can add other podcasts. Okay, it looks like it just crashed on me. Okay. But yeah, you can also go back. You can go online, right? And if you find a podcast that you'd like, you can add it through the URL of the podcast, and then
Nice.
yeah, it'll you can place it here, and then normally it'll generate the thumbnail for it. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's very.
Yeah.
The design is beautiful. I'm just saying, you see, these are the designs I love.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah. That's one thing I like about it is that everything just looks really good. So,
And they stay intact, and it's more than what Google does or what Microsoft does. Everything is like it's the same layout. They don't look completely different from each other.
oh yeah, true, true. Trying to make everything look just very cohesive and just very nice, very well
Yeah.
rounded and that. So, yeah, 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 I totally agree with you on that. All right, so let's go back to the topic, right, about open source. Man, we are jumping the gun on this, man. We've like,
Right?
yeah, we finished local storage. Yeah, yeah, we did. Okay, so we're on
Yeah,
open
that
source.
was
Okay,
local storage.
okay, okay,
Okay.
okay.
Wait,
All right.
did we do local storage?
Fuck.
No, we
Yeah, no, we
didn't.
did, we did. Yeah, 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 we did. Cause
Are you
then, like,
sure?
yeah, 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 yeah. Cause then we were talking about. Well, we didn't go too much into it.
Right.
Um.
Yeah, 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 you're right. You're right. I mean, we did all of them, I think.
Oh no, 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 no. You're right. Oh man, man. Okay. Talk about a first video. Like this is, yeah, this is definitely a noob's mistake. But yeah, no. You know what it was is that we we went into the privacy concerns of local
Right.
versus open source, and now I wanted to get into reliability after this. So yeah, yeah,
Okay.
we kind of
Yeah.
went pretty deep into this, and then we just talked about other things. But yeah, um, so now let's talk about reliability. And by the way, I'm gonna check this app out. I've actually never heard of it. I think you mentioned
It's
to me
great. It has
before. Yeah,
end-to-end encryption.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Is
Yeah.
this native to elementary
Open
OS?
source?
Well,
No,
elementary.
no, it's not native. It's the
No,
developer's actually quite nice. No, it's not native to elementary. No.
man, this looks like it fits the UI perfectly. Look at that.
Yeah, that's the thing. It fits a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's one of my favorites. The only thing is it doesn't have spell check, but I actually, now that you brought it up, I actually want to start using this again.
Yeah, no, that looks
And they have
really
an
awesome.
export feature, so you can back up your entire database in
Hmm.
one shot.
That's really cool. All right, now for you open source nerds out there, it runs the GPL version 3. So for people who care about that, there's that. What kind of encryption does it use?
End to end.
PGP. Okay, end to end. Okay,
Okay.
PGP encryption. Cool. All right, nice. And there's also Chrome or Chromebooks. What's that?
It doesn't support the app, a Chrome app. It's
Oh,
just
Chrome. Okay,
the
okay, okay.
wrapper kind of thing without encryption.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Got it. All right, cool. So, now going into reliability, right? I know for me firsthand, right? Uh, yes, cloud is in fact very reliable, right? Um,
Yeah.
have you found it very often that you prefer to just upload something to the cloud and then access it anywhere else later? Like you prefer that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, yeah, and
I would say I prefer the idea of it. Yeah.
okay, I see what you mean. Right, but say one day, and this is just a complete hypothetical, right? But say one day Google Drive goes down. You know, say it
Right.
goes down, and then what? Your data. I mean,
Exactly.
and don't get me wrong. Google will in fact have a backup. They have
Yeah.
backups upon backups upon backups, right? And it's not for the sake of security. It's not even for definitely not for the
Yeah.
sake of privacy.
You're the product. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, yeah. That's their money right there. So they're not gonna just lose it like that. So I'm pretty sure they have a backup. But yeah, uh, yeah. And the thing is that there is that hypothetical. There is that scenario where say it does go down, and then now you can't
This
access your
did
data.
happen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's actually there's this guy and he made a website called googledrivesucks.com
Mm-hmm.
where he downloaded a sync client, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was the internet I think went down and he deleted a folder.
Yeah.
Um, in that synced local folder.
Mm-hmm.
It deleted every single thing. There was no internet. And So all the documents were deleted. He contacted Google, and Google was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we can't help you. Everything was deleted. It's not up to us. It's not like it's not our fault."
Yeah. Wow.
And they couldn't help him, and it was their fault. How do you sync something like that
Hmm.
and not confirm? Because he deleted one file. He did not delete, his entire drive. But
Yeah.
there should be a safeguard right there. You shouldn't be able to delete so easily.
No, definitely, definitely. Um, wow, actually, no, that really sucks. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and you see, there is that inconvenience, you know, and it could be a major one.
Oh
So,
yeah.
and so that's why local storage can end up becoming more reliable in that case. At least in that case, or say you don't have internet. Say your internet goes down. Maybe the internet in your neighborhood goes down. Maybe
Like
you.
yesterday.
Yeah. Wait. What do you mean?
It went down for me like yesterday, literally, and I didn't have access because I was testing out like that experiment that I was doing on Google Docs,
Yeah.
and it completely crashed the internet, and I had no access to my data. So there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Firsthand. You see, there was a big reliability issue there, and so you see that that's one key point there. And yes, you can also make the argument too that local storage, although it is convenient because you will have your copy there, you don't have to rely on the internet, you know, for you to access your data. But at the same time too, you have to carry an extra device, like I go back to. There is that little insignificant. I would consider it to be insignificant only because, I mean, it won't kill you. I guess it depends as to
It
like,
really won't. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I guess it just depends on, um, the size of what your, what the size of your data. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, but even then, like I mean, a normal flash drive, you can get like a terabyte flash drive, put that tucked in nice in your backpack or wherever you need to take it to, and yeah, you should be fine there. Or maybe get three, maybe save those elsewhere in case you lose this one. So it's very
They're
important. I mean,
necklaces, USB necklaces.
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, maybe it's not the most fashionable thing, but it's an option. Like people, that's the thing is that convenience has become a thing where it's just made us lazy. We're just
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It's definitely made us lazy.
we're just like, oh, why do I need to carry a flash drive when I can just upload it to Google Drive? You know, it's just like, why do I need
Somebody
to do
else's
that?
computer, though. That's kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
people don't get that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. I mean, breaking down to it, I mean, you're like, well, instead of putting it onto my own USB drive, I'm just gonna put it on someone else's computer. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
it gets to be really dumb when you bring it down to that point, but
Yeah.
yeah, but you know, just it's like, come on, really? Like, it's like people are just so they're just so lazy when it comes to this.
They are.
I mean,
It takes 5 seconds.
yeah, I mean,
Plug in your flash drive. That's it.
put it there, yeah, and then say you have that one, and maybe you want to make a backup copy of that one. Maybe you want to make three, four, depending on what it is. Keep those safely tucked in your house. So you can always go back to those in case you lose that one. There's some security measures that you can take too. I mean, maybe you can put in some encryption if it's very sensitive. If you want to go
Right.
that route, that's really up to you. Now, whether you can access that later on, depending where you're going, that's really, you got to think about that. But I mean, like, yes, maybe it is an extra step or two, but it's not like you're moving mountains. It's not like you're, changing everything. You're just changing your habit. You know,
Habits are the hardest to break. That's the thing. Google made it.
that's
Really.
yeah, right. It's like crack.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I consider that a habit. At that point, it's just an addiction. That's what it is. It's a freaking addiction. People are
Yeah.
addicted.
That experiment was hard for me too. It's addiction.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. So actually, so now let's get in. Now, I think I want to leave the open source part. Is there anything else you want to talk about related to this?
Uh, no, no.
Okay. All right. So let's go into your experiment, or do you want to save that for next time?
Sure. I mean, um, so how do you want me to start? You want me to just talk about it, or?
Yeah. Just talk about what your experiment was about and how are you going with it so far.
So I think I started about like a week ago, like maybe 2 weeks. I mentioned it to you, and like last week I started. So the whole idea came from. I think it was us that we spoke, right? And I asked you about Google Docs, and if you trusted it, and you told me no.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't exactly remember what motivated me to it. I guess it was the whole privacy thing. So, you know what I was like? I was wondering what it would be like to, be without a smartphone, within reason, of course. Because you know the site Quora, right? Or no?
No, I don't actually.
Okay, so basically, people ask a whole bunch of questions and about all sorts of topics, and one person was like, "Is life without Google possible?" And I literally, like, I kind of like, I wasn't trying to be a dick, but I laughed at that person because, like, what do you mean? Is it possible? We just did that not too long ago.
Yeah.
Before 2007, we basically did that, and that's basically where my experiment came in. I was like, that is kind of true, and I'm at fault here too. I'm guilty of wanting the convenience because who doesn't at the end of the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I did that. So, my first experiment was part of my experiment was uninstalling Google Chrome.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, I did that 5 times. I uninstalled it and I was like, oh, Firefox is so different compared to Chrome.
Yeah.
I installed Chrome again and I was like, you bitch, go back. So I uninstalled it,
Yeah.
installed it back. And finally, like it got easier, honestly. And I loved it. I started liking it better,
Yeah.
honestly, than always relying on Google and feeding your data to Google when they don't need it. It's functionality wise, software will always do better, at least for now, than what a cloud app can pretty much guarantee.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
So I'm doing well for it. I haven't. Uh, yeah, I haven't touched my smartphone other than to send you wire messages or answer a phone call. I haven't willingly gone onto a Google service, and it honestly feels a lot better, man.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
So
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I mean, it kind of goes to like, what I was talking about, but just that pure laziness. Because, I mean,
yeah,
there was a time before all of this. I mean, it's just a matter of changing your habits, and it's because many people don't want to, and they're just so stuck on convenience, right, or laziness, that they don't want to do that other option or do this and that, right, because it requires an extra step, you know, and it's just like, come on, really, really, um,
yeah. And I think it goes deeper. Like it's funny though because I was doing that and I stopped. Like I said, I stopped using my smartphone, right?
mm-hmm,
And that convenience of not using my smartphone allowed me to pay attention to nature itself.
mm-hmm,
And like people, like everybody, you don't have to tell me, but everybody goes through something difficult, right?
mm-hmm.
I think without these services that are convenient, we focus on the wrong thing, and that's the scary part. We want the convenience, we want distraction, we want entertainment at all times. It is a distraction, and that's what Google is doing. That's what all companies are doing. It is a distraction from what's important.
No, you're totally right. And, I could only, yeah, honestly, I'm on my phone every single day. When I wake up, that is the first thing I see, right? When I get dressed, I like to put on a podcast, like a tech podcast as I get dressed and get ready, right? When I'm on the bus, I like to listen to music. When I'm at work, I get messages. I get a call every now and then, I chat with you, right? And it's just like, you're all so consumed by your device and by, my Android device, and it's just
Yeah,
like,
right.
like when you like step back, I can only imagine, but, you know, it's funny because I can only imagine. I could literally do it, but it's just like,
Yeah, right.
is this because I'm just, I know, right? Like, it's just I'm just so consumed and like my life is just, you know, so set up that where I need my phone, right, because of work, because I have certain, some data there that I rely on going back to constantly, and you know,
Right.
um, so it's just like breaking away from your whole entire device, right, your Android Google device, right, that you primarily use, and then just not using it. It's just like a huge step back, right?
Yeah,
And
it is, but it's
yeah,
also very relieving.
yeah, no, I totally agree. No, I totally agree. Honestly, if I were to do it, Oh man, I can only imagine all the things I can actually
Why
get
don't
to.
you?
Yeah, I know.
Just try
I
it.
know, I know, right? You see, I'd say I would, but the thing is
But
that
you're lazy.
um no, it's okay for a few things for work because I'm a part of a team, so I need to communicate. I need to communicate to them at times, and like I especially these past couple of weeks we've been texting what was it every week, because we need to send some data or like this and that. It's just a lot of stuff, so that's why I need it. And
I don't know.
also,
I don't mean like ditch your smartphone. I mean the small things. Don't like if you're gonna write a document, write it on your phone. Write it on your laptop. If you're gonna listen to a podcast, listen to it on your laptop, and only do like the business stuff on your phone because you need to. That's kind of what I meant by stepping back, because completely going away from your phone is stupid in today's world, because you kind of do need it
I see
in
what you
some way or
mean,
another.
but I mean, it'd be kind of awkward for me to have my laptop in my hand, connected with some headphones as I'm walking down the street to the bus. You know, I don't know if anyone's ever
Dude.
done that, but I'm pretty sure there has been someone. Right, but
Yeah, I know. No, I mean when you sit down, you don't need to do it in the street. That's what I'm saying. It's good to not do anything while you're walking,
oh, you're
to
right.
pay
Yeah.
attention to your surroundings. You know what I mean? You'll be a lot happier.
Oh, yeah. You're totally. Yeah, yeah. I could imagine that. I really could. Because now you're not consumed. You're not focused on what is coming from your phone, but rather you're aware of where you're at. You're acknowledging other things that you wouldn't have if you had your phone. So yeah, I totally get you.
Right. I changed my completely, like once a week I will go to whatever it is, a Chinese restaurant, a cafe, and I won't do anything on my phone anymore. I won't even read quick notes. I will take my phone,
Hmm.
sit down at that Chinese restaurant, tether, and do all my work on my laptop. And that is that. It made me so much more productive, and that's why I love this experiment, because it awakened whatever it is that is productive.
Okay. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that. Yeah, definitely. So, like I said, I may um do that, but we'll see. We'll see. Because I like listening to my podcast in the morning, especially with that and a cup of coffee as I'm on the bus on my way to work or on
I
my way to
hear that.
school.
Well,
So
on your bus is fine. That's what I'm saying. On your bus
yeah.
is fine, but I'm just saying that you know.
No, I know, but it's just like well, firsthand, like me and him, we live here in New York City, right? So the the MTA, which is the company that owns the transit buses, um, trains and everything. The trains here are insanely packed during rush hour in the morning, right? So I love to put on my headphones so I don't have to deal with people, especially when I'm still waking up. Because you can get
I
easily
hear that.
irritated. So yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's why I'm saying like I don't know, but I'll see. I mean, well, would an MP3 player be considered getting away from my phone?
Oh, that's a nice option.
Yeah, that's a good. I mean, that's an alternative. Like I said, there was that before. It was combined both together. Well, I mean, the bits
Yeah,
have
I
been together
mean,
for a while, but yeah. I mean,
yeah, I
there
mean,
was
who
a
doesn't
time.
want that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, like I remember like a couple years ago. Man, it's like 2007, 2006. I would have my phone and an iPod, like a little small one. No, not even an iPod, like a MP3 player.
Mm.
Right? Yeah, and then so I'd have both of those devices, but now everyone's just using their cell phone because it comes with everything now.
Yeah, I
So,
remember the CD days, the CD player days, the portable CDs.
dude, oh my gosh, that was my struggle. That was my struggle. I remember I used to love it, right? Play it back all the time, right? But the inconvenience of having a CD player, at least the one I had a cheap one from the 99-cent store because that's all I could afford, and um, if you turn it to the side, right, while that CD's playing, it could possibly mess up your CD or just not play at all if it wiggles too much, right? It
Yeah,
could mess with
falls
it.
out.
Yeah, exactly. If it falls out, that's the worst
Wow.
case scenario because now you're ruining your disc and you might not even be able to hear it. Period. Um, but yeah, no. that would be the struggle. But yeah, I remember that was the CD player is how I started off. Then eventually I got a cheap MP3 player. I had a PSP, the original PSP. I don't know if you remember those.
Oh, I had one. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, they don't really. They kind of exist now. The PSP Go is the recent one, but yeah, I had the original PSP.
The original PSP is great.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was really cool for its time. Like honestly, I felt like it was so advanced.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Wow.
this is it.
Dude, they still look cool.
Yeah, they
They
do.
still look really cool.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah, but honestly, it was very bulky, very bulky. Like that's the funny part is that I would actually have this in my pocket, and my pocket thankfully was big enough to hold it, right? But like the edge would somewhat like tip out, right? So it would like kind of like wave hello to
Mm.
people. Yeah, because it's just like overflowing in my pocket. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, so it's just like it's this hard large device. It's funny because it's not primarily like an MP3 player, right? But it did have that feature, right?
Right.
It's a portable gaming device, but I would use it for an MP3 player anyways, and until it died. But yeah, I mean those were the struggle days, that and the CD player. But I mean, listen, they sufficed for the time, and they worked. But honestly,
That worked.
huh?
No, I'm saying I agree with you. They did work.
Oh yeah, yeah. But honestly, I'm just really glad that they, you know, just have it all on one device now. It just makes it a lot more convenient.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, not right now. Not off the top of my head.
Huh? All right, man. So yeah, I think that's about it for this. So yeah, guys. So that was it. That was our first video. Um, that's me, Danny from TechRage, and Mike as well. He's my good friend of mine. We'll be doing these videos every now and then when possible. Of course, a lot more structured, maybe along the way. Maybe, who knows? I don't know. But we'll also be talking about topics that we definitely enjoy, right? So related to tech and maybe not so related to tech, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll see you in the next video. Mike, want to say anything?
No, I mean, if you guys have any suggestions, they're always welcome, I'm sure. So let us know.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some topics that you want to talk about, maybe have us conversate about and give our 2 cents about. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So we'll see you guys in the next video.
Yeah. See you guys.